Hi, this is Compulsory Basic Training, Element D. The first lesson is Know the Highway Code. So it's your responsibility to read and understand the highway code. You'll need to read it from cover to cover, know all the signs and all the rules. It applies to all road users. So you'll need to know everything that's in the book. You'll need to know the types of road signs, which are orders, warning, and information signs. If you don't know how to use a road, go out in the car as a passenger and learn from a parent or from a friend. Remember, it's your responsibility to know how to use the road. So a few legal requirements for riding on the road. You need good eyesight, you'll need to wear a helmet that's securely fastened, you'll have to have a correct driving licence, you're doing your CBT, so you'll need a CBT certificate, you need tax, insurance and MOT for the bike, along with L plates on the front and rear of the motorcycle, with a number plate, and you must be in good health. You'll need to be clearly visible when riding on the road. So think about the colour of the helmet, wear fluorescent clothing, wear reflective materials where possible, maybe on the bike, always put your lights on, and think about your road position when you're riding on the road. You may even use your horn if you don't think somebody's seen you. So why are motorcyclists more vulnerable than other road users? If you look at the size of a motorbike, we've got a much smaller profile. We've only got two wheels on the road, so that makes us more vulnerable because of the road surface hazards. If we do fall off, the clothing that we wear is our only protection, and we don't have airbags and seat belts and roll cages like people do in the car. The weather conditions and obviously the loss of comfort will also make us more vulnerable. But if you think about what your skill level is, your experience and ability, it is fairly low when you first start learning to ride. Okay, thinking about poor road surfaces. So anything that comes between the tyres and the tarmac is going to be classed as a poor road surface. So you'll need to avoid things like gravel, leaves and branches, any mud or any debris on the road. Also think about the weather conditions that will stop the tyres touching the tarmac, like snow and ice. What about spillages around roundabouts, and obviously diesel near roundabouts and garages? Think about potholes, drain covers and manhole covers, and as you can see in the picture, some of the road surfaces aren't very good for two wheels. So think about the correct road position. The centre of the lane is known as position number 2, and that's the best position to ride in. It gives you the best vision up ahead, and also any vehicles behind you can see you while you're in the centre of the lane. So you could move to the left if you're turning left, or move to the right if you're turning right. So position number 1 for turning left or to avoid oncoming traffic, or position number 3 for turning right or going around parked vehicles on the left hand side of the lane. You can also move to the left or right for any debris, but staying in the centre of the lane at roundabouts and traffic lights is the best position for your safety. Riding at the correct speed according to the road and traffic conditions. So you need to know what the speed limits are. So in private estates and in private roads, you may find speed limits between 5 and 15 miles an hour. Around schools and built-up areas, 20 miles an hour. In built-up areas in towns and city centres, 30 miles an hour. And more open roads and away from built-up areas, 40 and 50 miles an hour. Remember, the national speed limit is 60 miles an hour, and on dual carriageways and motorways, it goes up to 70 miles an hour. Leave sufficient space in front. So when you're following other traffic, don't get too close. You'll need to apply the 2-second rule. Remember, only a fool breaks a 2-second rule. In the wet, you'll need to double that to 4 seconds. If you don't know what the 2-second rule is, then you'll need to do some home study and find out before you come in. But we will go through it anyway. And when stopping behind other traffic, especially if you come into a line of vehicles that are queuing, then stay the same length as a vehicle that you're staying behind. So a car length, a bus length, and so on. You'll need to ride defensively. So that means riding safely and in a relaxed manner. You're always in control, and you should never be in a rush or trying to race anybody. So you should anticipate the actions of other vehicles and think about what they might do. So if you see one hazard, then think of another. So basically link the hazards. So if you see a ball coming into the road, then think about children or a dog. Or a football, then kids could be following the football, running into the road without a regard for any traffic. If you see an ice cream van, then think about children who are interested in getting their ice cream. So what is a hazard? Well, as you can see, anything that makes you change speed or direction. There are different types of hazard, so bends or corners, junctions, roundabouts, or even the weather conditions. A poor road surface can be a bad hazard. So look at what's in front of you, plan your journey, think about what you're doing, but if you need to change speed or direction, maybe have a look in your mirror before you adjust what you're doing. So you'll need to avoid aggressive attitudes while you're riding. Think about the consequences of aggressive attitudes. So if you fall off, you could be killed or you could be badly injured. You could break your arm, that would heal in a few weeks, or you could break your spine, and in which case that would be a more severe injury and it might be life-changing. You may even lose your driving licence, and if that happens, you may lose your job or even end up in prison. But remember, as a motorcyclist, you'll always come off second best to a larger vehicle. You'll need to deal with the weather conditions, so always ride safely, and the weather affects the rider and the bike. You could be wet and uncomfortable if it's raining and cold, but if it's sunny and in the middle of summer, you could be very hot and sweaty. So think about how you're going to ride and think about your journey, and also the clothing that you're wearing. So riding in the sun affects you as well as other riders, and think about how that will affect your journey. Think about the rain. How will that affect how you can see and how others can see you? They might have windscreen wipers on the front and the rear of the car, but they don't have them on the side windows. So think about riding in the ice and the snow and the black ice. Obviously, if anything comes between the tyres and the tarmac, it may be quite dangerous for you to ride. Also, riding in the fog and riding in the mist, where your vision and your visibility is reduced. Also the wind. There could be a lot of problems as you're going out of a sheltered area if there were strong side winds. So look out for areas where you could be riding where you're sheltered, and as you go into an open air, if you know it's windy, then you may come across some problems with the wind. Obviously, that's a hidden danger. And then riding at night. So if we add a few problems to riding at night, so it's raining, it's windy and it's cold, and now it's dark and you lose the road surface view. So just be aware of what's happening ahead of you when you're riding, and if you need to, slow down to deal with the problems on the road ahead. Thinking about alcohol and drugs. Some people like a good drink and then other people take illegal drugs. However, you must think about the effects of your ability to ride. So the effects on the body and obviously on the brain. So alcohol affects the balance, judgment and coordination, and so do some drugs. There are some legal drugs and obviously there are some that are illegal. So if you're going to drink, don't ride. If you're taking drugs, don't ride. Remember, you must be in good health to ride a motorcycle. So get ready for the road. There's a few ways you can get ready for the road. So you could join Video Biker and start watching the videos and reading through the information on your free account. Get to know the road signs and the highway code. Understand how to use a road as a motorcyclist. It's really important for your safety. Watch the junction guides that we've given you. Watch element A, watch element D again, and also look through a lot more videos through Video Biker in the Learners Academy. Look at how to use roundabouts for road positioning and lifesavers. Also remember that when you are riding that you need to be safe and be aware of your surroundings. So remember, keep it on the black stuff.